But the one thing I think I got from my parents is this, not to wallow in self-pity, to try to see where the pathway is and to pursue it. And you go through, and I believe this very strongly, you pass through your window in time. And if the window opens or the door opens, you step through it. Now, that's not to say you don't fight for things, both in the personal and professional sense, but also to do something for somebody else. And so it's not like I was oblivious to what was going on, because I was always very aware. But I also knew that, one, I went to MIT to become a scientist in the end. And number two, that if I was going to do something for other people, I had to be in a position to do something for them. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't come to a point where you have to take your own stand and to carry out your own fight for justice. And I did that. I did that especially as a graduate student. But I was by myself as an undergrad. The women in my class didn't particularly treat me well, and certainly not the men. So who were going to be my allies? I actually joined an African-American sorority, Delta Sigma Theta, which was a New England-wide chapter. And that's because there were so few of us at any of the schools. And so we did a lot of work in terms of trying to influence things and improve things in the African-American, the Black community in Boston. We had tutoring programs, and I personally tutored at the YMCA in Roxbury, Mass, as well as working as a volunteer at Boston City Hospital, which is now part of the Boston Medical Center. And so I worked in a pediatric ward, and they had kids of all races, Black ones, white ones. And so that taught me a little bit about human suffering at a very young age, and that everybody carries some burden. And so on the one hand, you could argue that kept my humanity intact. On the other, I was dealing with more systemic things, racial things at MIT at the time. But yet I was there doing very well academically and pursuing a certain path. So I didn't just live a dichotomous life, I lived a trichotomous life. So I guess, I've always felt that I wanted to do well in science, but that I could also use it as a springboard to do other things.